Welcome to the Marketing Cheat Code podcast, where smarter marketing creates accelerated growth.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Cheat Code, where we uncover the strategies, tools, and insider moves that give brands a competitive edge. I'm Tracey Austin Grooms, your host and Chief Marketing Engineer at Full Circle Marketing Agency, where we help companies accelerate growth by combining proven strategies with the transformative power of AI to deliver smarter campaigns and measurable results. If you would like to get in touch to schedule a complimentary consult call, please just drop a comment in the box below. Today's guest leads an agency that's earned its reputation for delivering results and being a joy to work with. David Sonn is the founder and CEO of Arc Intermedia, a Philadelphia-based digital marketing agency serving enterprise-level clients across industries from healthcare to e-commerce. They've built a 15-year track record of helping clients maximize budgets and deliver meaningful outcomes. Dave, welcome to the show.
Tracey, thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So let's just dive right in.
Let's go.
How did Arc Media come to be? What
Well,
did you see in the digital marketing space? And
I'm gonna try to make this long story super short.
Okay.
I came from a background. I own an agency that was building nothing but websites, a lot of production work, and I began to not be super excited about building websites every single day. And what I was really excited about was how can marketing actually drive real business? Because at the end of the day, marketing is an investment in the business. And I got super excited. It was back in 2009, digital marketing was just, at the cusp. And I was really intrigued by the fact that we could measure absolutely everything we were doing and get credit for it. Like, unlike traditional media where, radio, TV, print, you don't really know what the effect was of your marketing. Digital, completely different thing. I was willing to live or die by the results. So that's why I started it.
Fantastic. What services do you find are most in demand from your clients right now?
Well, I will say for many years, probably SEO was one of the largest services because it's so complex. It's nebulous in some regard, and Google runs the game and they don't really tell you much of anything. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of testing. But it's a complement to the paid side. We often say that SEO is the marathon. It takes so long to actually take effect, whereas paid advertising, you can turn the spigot on right away.
Absolutely. Great analogy. Your agency emphasizes being both effective and enjoyable to work with. How does that philosophy translate into client relationships?
Well, first off, this is no great secret. It's nice to work for and with nice people, right? Being around people that you actually enjoy just makes a job harder. And, marketing is no different than any other job, if you will. There's ups and downs, there's challenges, there's moments where you're really kind of working really hard to try to solve a problem. So, we recently rebranded ourselves as the Enjoyable Agency, and that certainly reflects the fact that we have very enjoyable people and we treat our clients with great respect, which often people would say, of course. But for us, enjoyable goes a little bit further. Enjoyable to us means taking a marketing budget and delivering real results. It's like opening your financial statement. It sure is enjoyable when you see that amount a lot higher than it was the month before. And it's also, looking at different aspects, knowing that telling the client or the client understanding the fact that they know that every deadline's going to be met, that the creative is going to be on point, that they don't have to worry about this, that, or other thing. If things got done, they can just straight up count on us. And the fact that this agency has been in business for over 15 years, they also have the peace of mind that we're going to be here tomorrow. And Tracey, as you know this, the agency world is hard, right? So you see a lot of companies come and go. We've got clients that have been with us 5, 10, 15 years. That's longer than most digital agencies have ever even even existed.
Absolutely. Very good points. There are a lot of agencies that have come and gone, and it's no small feat that you've been able to ride the wave and come out victorious. Tell me, Dave, what are some of the biggest challenges Arc Intermedia is currently facing in the rapidly evolving marketing agency landscape?
Well, I will say the challenges that we face are the challenges that every agency faces. Either you evolve or you die, right? And things are moving so quickly over the last 15 years. Everything has evolved from the paid side, how we do SEO, how we do web dev, content marketing, all of it. But the real big change here is now AI search. And we jumped on this probably near the end of 2023. I challenged my entire agency at our annual company meeting early in 2024 that this is the direction that we needed to head. We saw AI not just as tools to make you or enable you to do your job better, but an actual marketing platform. So we went all in, and it was at a time where literally no other agencies were doing this. So it wasn't like we had a roadmap or a place to learn. We had to test. We used our own website. We have some clients that, were very engaged with it as well. So we were able to test there. And the big challenge is, now educating clients on how AI search is really taking over. And it's not just that SEO is going away. It's a combination of what we call GEO, generative engine optimization, AEO, which is answer engine optimization. Those are the places across the web where people are still asking real humans questions. And then, of course, SEO. SEO is not dead. Don't let anybody tell you that. It's still an important marketing component.
Absolutely brilliant. How have you integrated that innovative AI forward first methodology into your KPIs and your success metrics for your clients?
That is a fantastic question, Tracy, because unlike traditional Google Analytics 4 that you get from most of your other efforts, especially SEO and paid search and those kind of things, we're just not getting those metrics. So now we have to really step back and think it from a business standpoint. We have to get with the client. The partnership is never more important than as it is right now, to get those metrics that what is actually driving business. Is revenue up? Are sales inquiries up? Is the CRM full of really great leads? Is there increased foot traffic? We have to look at some of those tangible real world things and then map them back to the effort that we're getting and the lift that we're getting from AI search. So it is a little tricky. We don't have the same numbers right now. They're coming though.
Yeah. And it's certainly a balancing act between the two to kind of keep things rolling along.
Indeed.
What are the biggest hurdles you encounter in staying ahead of the market trend and continuously innovating your service offering?
Again, I will not to repeat myself, but there's just with the AI search piece, there is no roadmap. So we are constantly doing our own testing, learning. Of course, some things fail. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, and trying to just keep pushing through until you can begin to get the wins, continually leaning on the trust that you've built up with clients, because it's, a little dicey for them too when you can't give that reporting. The other challenges that we face is that this is an ever moving market, right?
Right.
I don't know about you, Tracy, but it does seem that a lot of upper level people, VPs, directors, seem to be moving on. They seem to be taking on other jobs. So, you build a relationship, and we have, again, like I said earlier, we have relationships with clients that have been with us 5, 10, 15 years. But as people move on and new people come in, it's rebuilding that relationship, showing all the wins that you've gained, demonstrating the institutional knowledge that you bring forward. And respectfully speaking, in many cases, we as the agency actually know more than a new person. And then again, building that relationship, building that enjoyable relationship so they can understand that we really do mean what we say, treating every client in a respectful manner, but also respecting the fact that marketing has to deliver a business return.
Absolutely. And it also is where the rubber meets the road in terms of agency work. This goes without saying. A lot of people are saying marketers are going away because of AI. And truthfully, there's one thing that AI cannot do, and that is protect and nurture relationships.
Absolutely right.
That is what definitely keeps agencies like ARC pertinent and relative to where the economy is going.
Indeed.
What's the biggest mistake you see enterprise brands making with their marketing budgets?
Oftentimes, either indecision or sometimes they just don't really trust their partner to really follow through on an entire campaign. Because especially in digital, you have to go into something understanding, we've put the best research out front, we've built the campaigns we want. But you need to understand there has to be pivots along the way. You have to trust the data. You may have great intuition, you may have great experience, but as you begin to look at the numbers, if a pivot is called for, you've got to make that pivot. And just, getting the client that, they want results yesterday. And we all understand that they're under a lot of pressure and fire too. So just getting clients to let us do what we know to do and to do it the best way we can throughout that entire campaign, that can be a little bit challenging. But again, we have fantastic partners. We've built up a lot of trust over the years. So we've made that a bit easier.
It's great. With so many channels in play in the mix, the marketing media mix now, socials, CTV, influencers,
Yeah.
content marketing. How do you help your clients stay integrated rather than fragmented across all of those verticals?
Sure. So, we try not to go into any new situation with like a predisposed, we're going to do this. Instead, the first thing we ask every single client is, what is your goal? Because your goal is going to dictate the strategy and then the tactics that we're going to employ. Oftentimes, if there needs to be education, well, we need to create an awareness. We need to, reinforce the brand or the concept. You just mentioned it. CTV is a fantastic one. Us as digital marketers now can operate providing what will look like traditional TV advertising, rather, running TV commercials on streaming, which is a fantastic way to build reach and to build credibility. And as you begin to build that understanding, you're building that education, if it's a new product, then you can begin to march down the line and get lower mid funnel tactics where you can then try to actually make the sale. And that might be paid search, that could be paid social, that could be an influencer. There's a whole host of things that can be done.
Yeah, we're seeing the AI help agencies right now analyze performance faster, personalize campaigns, optimize budgets in real time. How is ARC starting to experiment in this space with that?
Well, we've always tried to employ the best tools, and these tools have had machine learning built within them for many years. So the AI side of it isn't 100% a new thing. But I will tell you this, there is still no replacement for someone who's got great experience that can draw upon a potential campaign that went really well in the past, pull forward those experiences, understand what the numbers mean, understand when it's time to pivot, when it's time to have patience. But again, we as an agency, we are constantly testing tools. We're trying to always refine our process. We always want to get the best results.
Absolutely. And that's a great point. AI analytics are starting to solve a lot of pain points, but it's only as powerful as it's directed to be. So having your
Indeed.
entrenched in the space so early is almost like a really good competitive edge. So kudos to you for turning
Eh,
the tide in the conversation early on.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah. You work across industries like healthcare, pharma, sports, B2B. Where do you see the biggest opportunities right now?
It depends. So I will tell you my philosophy. We don't limit ourselves to any one industry for a couple reasons. First off, I think it would be really boring to work on the exact same thing every single day. And the agencies that do hyper focus on a single industry, they can't help themselves but kind of begin at some point churn out the same thing for, multiple customers in the same space. So to me, that's not very interesting. Rather, we don't limit ourselves because often we will achieve wins in one particular industry that will bring that thinking, that strategy, that newness to a whole nother industry. And it's a fresh new idea. And we can compete with the folks that they've been running up against that maybe they couldn't, beat. Now we're able to compete and beat their competitors. I just find it to be more engaging for our team. So again, we don't limit ourselves to any one industry. But what industry is hot was the question. We see financial services as certainly a hot industry. Healthcare always has to be doing its branding in a very careful way. And then, of course, consumer products. And, if you get into e-commerce products, you can lean into the social, and there's a lot of different ways to go with that too.
Good, great points. And definitely notes to keep a lookout for the future for all marketers. What's one marketing skill every chief marketing officer should sharpen in 2025?
Trust their team. If you've really got great people underneath you, you gotta let them do their work. You cannot micromanage. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a good number of years to actually learn that one because I was so type A and I want to have my hands involved in everything. But I finally did realize that the more I let my experts do what they do best, the better off all of our clients would be, the stronger our agency would be. And quite honestly, then I could be doing the tasks and the responsibilities that I needed to do to lead the company into the future.
Magnificent point. I myself am just 15 years in getting my head around new methodology or thinking about the schedule. I don't know if you've read the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, but it's mind blowing. And I think about my younger self. If I were operating from that book of Cliff Notes, where would I be today?
There you go.
Yeah. Couple of questions. Can you
All right.
share a campaign that your integrated approach really moved the needle for one of your clients? You don't have to give a client name, just something that just, you know.
Sure. Sure. So here's a story. We have a client that does retirement living. They tout a resort style living. So if you can imagine, these aren't inexpensive by any means, but they're full community. Folks move in there that are older but still active. They have full campus of entertainment, dining, as well as healthcare. So if you can imagine, they had a location in Boca, Florida, and there's a lot of competition down there. And there was a lot of ambiguity with the name among, the other retirement communities and those kinds of things. So they were having a real challenge with move-ins. So what we did, we first started with, ironically, CTV. We needed to build that brand. We needed to get that community because we were literally pulling from like a 20-mile radius. We needed that community to understand who this entity was, what their name stood for, and why they were different. As we began to build that brand awareness, we then began to pepper in a paid search, some display, and then content marketing. We began to, put out the word of what this entity was. And the success came that we finally did get the move-ins to come in and, build out their occupancy, which again, they had a very difficult time prior.
Brilliant. I have a two-part question. What's been the toughest challenge in scaling digital campaigns for your enterprise clients, and how did you get past it?
We often see campaigns are underfunded. So you're trying to do a whole lot of everything with not nearly the budget you need. So then you got to get creative. You've got to really kind of tamper down, your targeting, your radius, what you can really do. But we've been successful, with smaller budgets. But again, I would say as far as the scaling piece, it's getting the right budget so that you can prove out to the client that this is the right way to go so that they can invest more. Because if you can bring a client, if for every dollar they give you and you can give them $5, $8, $10 back, well, they're going to sign up for a lot more of that. But, proving out that concept, and we do a lot of pilot programs, is the tricky part in the beginning. But I am actually excited by AI search because I see great opportunities for some of the clients that maybe had a hard time to compete in traditional search because the incumbents with the very built up domain authority and massive amount of backlinks, hard to unseat. And, the Google search results have been dominated with paid placement and their own little widgets. So SEO sometimes can be challenging. AI search feels to me like a whole new frontier, a place where if we do good work, if we do good things, if our tests are true, that we can make meaningful gains for clients. Tied to that is we all know that there is going to become a paid component to these AI platforms. That hasn't been rolled out for us to really see yet, but we all know that it's coming. So I'm excited about that too. And then again, I touched on this before, CTV, I really like the fact as a digital marketing agency, we can conduct television commercials, get that same cachet as traditional broadcast television and get our clients up on the big screen.
More concerned about protecting the integrity of the content. Mentioned paid for search in AI. That's going to be interesting. And when is that going to turn into sponsored content?
It's coming.
It's coming,
It's
right?
coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Dave, this has been fantastic.
I really enjoyed myself too.
Where can listeners connect with you in Arc Intermedia?
I would invite you to come to our newly designed website. It's www.arc, and that's ARC, Intermedia, INTERMEDIA, arcintermedia.com. Come to our website. Track me down on LinkedIn as well. We try to put out a lot of good content. We try to share what we've learned. We try to help others in that regard. If you've got questions about your marketing career or you just want a second opinion, please reach out to me. I'm happy to share what I know.
Fabulous. And for our audience today, cheat code is simple, I think. The best digital marketing isn't siloed. It's integrated, measurable, and adaptive. I think that's one thing you really anchored on. Pair that with the right team and you get the results that last.
Indeed.
Thank you, Dave, for sharing your expertise, and to everyone tuning in.
Tracey, you are very welcome. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. I'll be in touch with the content.
Thank you for tuning in to the Marketing Cheat Code podcast, where smart marketers unlock their next big win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite cheat code.